Senior Divisional Officer for Fako, Southwest Region, installed into his functions by Governor Bernard Okalia-Bilai during a ceremony highly attended by sons and daughters of the Southwest Region, administrative heads, city mayor, religious and traditional rulers amid tight security. He takes over from Emmanuel Ngamba Ludu, who has served as a Senior Divisional Officer for Fako in the troubled Southwest for years. The event, which took place at the Manga William Avenue in Limbe, was halted in the morning due to heavy rains which came with floods and reprogrammed for the evening after the rains had subsided. While commissioning the new Senior Divisional Officer for Fako, the Chief Executive of the region challenged him to manage the resources at his disposal accordingly, fight against ghost towns, maintain peace and order, as well as carry out his functions assiduously.
Incoming Senior Division Officer, at the time you are taking up your new function, you will realize that the historic town of Limbe, the melting pot of our culture and laboratory of national integration, has said no to ghost town, no to the boycott of schools, no to terrorism, no to violence, and no to all forms of disorder which some of our frustrated compatriots wish to install in the region. I will therefore be incumbent on you, Mr. Senior Division Officer, to support and preserve this desire of the population of Limbe, Buea, Chico, and other cities to live in peace and harmony.
Governor Okalia-Bilai also called on the newly installed Senior Divisional Officer to watch out for bad seeds, which usually contaminate the good ones.
He was not known by anyone here. He is coming to your area upon the high decision of the head of state in order to assist Fako Division to pursue its development. As it often said, there is no bad administrator apart from some exceptions that confirm the rules. Rather, they are usually bad or dishonest populations that manipulate or mislead authority into error by providing him with wrong information to make him take bad decisions.
The baton of command was then handed to the newly elected and installed Senior Divisional Officer for Fako.
Administrative officers of Fako Division,
This is your new
municipal magistrates, delegates, and chief of services division. This is your senior divisional officer, Mr. Senior Divisional Officer Shaibu. Take command.
Barely 48 hours after the population of Wombe came together to denounce kidnapping for ransom, wanton killing, and a call on authorities to tar the Wombe-Bamenda road and equally pay attention to their plight, the corpses of two Muslims were seen this morning around Lake Wombe. They were reportedly pulled out of their homes and killed last night by yet-to-be-identified men. Confirming the incident in Wombe, the Senior Divisional Officer of Menchum Division, Abdullahi Aliyu, on phone, said investigations will be opened to track down perpetrators of the act.
We cannot know exactly what happened. You cannot say that it is amongst them. You cannot say that it is exactly ambas. So people have just to wait the investigation. You know that every time truth will come. But what happened is already happened. So we cannot do anything just to investigate and to know what is going on. We know that ambas are around because they took the son of NICOM, they took a teacher in GTTC, but it is not to say that directly it is them, but it is to investigate, to analyze things without hurrying.
According to reports from the Menchum division, the incident in Wum pushed Muslims in Okpa to leave their houses for fear of the unknown. They gathered this morning in front of the mosque in Wum waiting for calm to return. The killings recorded comes days after the population of Wum gathered at the Zongokwe village hall to denounce the increasing level of insecurity while expressing willingness to send perpetrators of crime out of Wum.
Situation that really we are struggling to handle. For now, we sleep with one eye open and one eye closed. We want to thank the initiative of the elite who had a meeting of recent to see how we can denounce this kidnapping. For our chiefs, teachers and other people are being kidnapped, but we are trying to see that with the level at which we are having peace seminars.
Within the last 2 months, at least 8 persons, including traditional rulers, council workers and teachers, have been kidnapped in Wum, a situation that has pushed people to live in fear in all 19 villages that make up Wum Council area. During the meeting with the mayor, they urged authorities to give the Wum Bamenda stretch a facelift. Note here that this stretch of road is almost impossible, leaving commuters stranded. For weeks now, traveling to Wum from Bamenda has been described by many as a nightmare and remains a journey they are unwilling to undertake, coupled with a rise in transportation and insecurity. In a society where the cry on every lip is for a return of peace, unity and harmony, especially in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon, plagued by the over 6-year conflict, there is constant need for peace movements to intervene. In this hall are internally displaced women and girls who fled their regions of origin as a result of the armed conflict. They are seeking refuge in Suza Mungo division of the Lithua region and are here to join voices with a new movement dubbed Peace House to be ambassadors of peace. On the occasion of his birthday, July 25, Kum Leonard, founder of the new peace movement, Peace House launched the association.
An initiative born by peace lovers, peace crusaders, sons and daughters of Cameroon who are yearning to see that peace reigns in our respective families, our respective communities, our nation, our continent and the world. So we felt the need not to only talk peace, but to get out there and act it by preaching the message of love, the message of tolerance, the message of forgiveness and reconciliation. We are in strife at the macro level because in the basic unit, which is a family, communities, we live in strife. We live in hate, we live in insults, we live in unforgiveness.
Because Jesus Christ left us with one key assignment, which is to love others like ourselves, the objective of the Peace House is to spread love, peace and unity.
We are out here to make ambassadors of peace. Our coming to Suza today is not to give the little we have given, but to remind ourselves, our mothers and mother sisters, brothers who are IDPs out here in Suza, to know that God has sent them here for a purpose, for a mission.
It is not all about reaching out to them, but creating a stable atmosphere and a stable mind to these affected persons. We see that some of them are devastated, some of them are demoralized, but we need to boost up their morals psychologically to make them feel they fit in society because of the challenges that they have gone through. So Peace House is not only to do donations, but to make them, to prepare their minds to be able to understand that they belong to this society and they are not relegated because of their circumstances.
To these beneficiaries, the words from benefactors are priceless.
And I'm happy not just because of the gift, most especially because of the words that comes from those who brought the gift. It makes me feel like there's always say that not all hope is lost, because when I left Bamenda and came to this place, I was totally confused. I'm a seamstress, I had my shop, I was operating with apprentices, but I came here and started from zero, from square one, and life has been so difficult. At times I sit and think where I come from And I asked myself, what am I doing here? How am I going to cope here? And just today, this message I got that we should learn how to forgive others, then make peace within yourself, forgive others so that you have that inner peace.
We thank God and we thank them because they don't be our own Moses, where they be moved out of the house of Egypt. I mean, out of Egypt. Yes, so we thank them plenty. More especially, they go make we now for no say that love, it been a good thing. Unity, it been a good thing. And peace, because we not stay without peace. If we still will not get peace, I mean, we cannot live a happy life.
The new association Peace House, in a bid to put smiles on the faces of these IDP women, handed them gift of basic materials, a gesture which falls in line with one of the association's mission, which is charity.
An information and educational seminar organized by the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator PIC, first session for members of the Regional House of Chiefs and Divisional Representatives held July 25, 2022 at the Conference Hall of the Public Independent Conciliator, Up Station Bamenda, with raison d'etre to identify common platform for consultation, concertation, collaboration and engagement between the PIC, the Regional House of Chiefs and Divisional Representatives.
Because they have members from all the 7 divisions of the Northwest, and then we are addressing this seminar with them so that we can tell them what role we play in the political landscape of the Northwest and what they are expecting from us. Also, it is an interactive seminar that we have with them.
The Public Independent Conciliator for the Northwest, Simon Tamfufai, hinted given the PIC is a new office with specifics and objective to sensitize people and stakeholders, what they expect to pass across is to explain to the people what the PIC's missions are and for them to say what their expectations are so that together can solve problems.
On a learning curve, the Regional Assembly and us, so we are looking at the text and see how we can create a platform of cooperation so that we can work together and progress the lives of the people of the Northwest.
Participants were entreated on the organization and functioning of the PIC office, mainstreaming inclusiveness and respect of diversity.
So I think it's a very enriching seminar, and I'll be able to take it back to my community to be able to preach to them and tell them what this office is all about, because they don't know. With the creation of this office by President Cedrick, most people think it's somewhere in Yaoundé. It is in Bamenda, and we'll be able to tell them, educate them on the use of this office, how they can settle their problems amicably through this office.
Where we are, especially today, and it's difficult for so many other persons. However, peace is the primordial intention for everybody, and we think it's our wish, it's our prayer too. From his explanation, what he gave us in the hall, we think if he channels, since it has a direct link with the president, if he can genuinely challenge all the presentations and the resolutions here taken to the president, I think we'll gradually get peace back.
Northwest Regional House of Assembly President Professor Fru Angwafo, in his part, while salute the initiative at a time the Northwest Regional Assembly is celebrating a week of peace and reconciliation, a premiere for the region's assembly session. The Office of the Public Independent Conciliator is for the protection and promotion of rights, stock freedom, and the enforcement of duties and obligations as well.
These brand new up-to-date military equipment offered by the African Union is a big motivation to the soldiers in the front line against Islamic sect Boko Haram. According to the commander of the Multinational Joint Task Force, the donations represent the relentless support of the African Union in the fight against terrorism.
The Multinational Joint Task Force to formally hand over equipment that were given to us by the African Union. We have armored personnel carriers, we have trucks, we have generators, and other equipment that will help the headquarters to operate very well. And then also the other equipment are to make sure that the troops have equipment for their operation. This is just the first batch. We are going to get more.
While handing over the equipment, Brigadier General A.K. Ibrahim expressed his appreciation to the government of Cameroon for the devotion in the fight against Boko Haram.
And I want to use this medium to thank the Republic of Cameroon, from the Minister of Defense to the Chief of Defense Staff, down to the last soldier. They secured this equipment in Douala. It was very safe. And they moved this equipment from Douala to the northern part of Cameroon, in Mora. There was no incident. From Mora, this equipment were taken to Nigeria, to Niger, to Chad. It shows that we are really in control of these areas.
The donation of these equipment coincided with a farewell party organized for the outgoing commander of Sector 1 of the Multinational Joint Task Force, Brigadier General Buba Dobekreo, now commander of the 5th Joint Military Region of the Northwest and West Regions.
They were forced out of their home last week by uniformed officers who came with a man claiming to own the land they were in.
Car were gone. About 40 army, because the car were full truck army. The car were gone, the inside compound, boom, 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 boom. So una pass come out. Una pass come out, they understand what they happen. So una pass come out. They go for that first neighbor door, they kick and boom. The door open. They carry the thing, they send her off outside. Then they cover the other side door where the neighbor no be there. They pull lock for the door. They cover the other neighbor no be there. They pull lock for the door. Then they cover the other neighbor. They kick the door. I see be there for us. They kick the door and kick them. Carry all it in them. Throw her off outside.
The land with building materials owned by the chief of Bumaka, a landlord who owns the plank house structure, and an unknown person who has a document showing he owns the land 20 years ago. Who is the real owner of this land, which has left these IDPs homeless? Chief Eko Kombe Emmanuel tells the story.
I was called on Thursday in the night that a truck of military people came to the Bumaka village, my 17 layout. That the truck came with gendarmes and some civilians. They started asking IDPs to walk out from the Calabar building that they were living.
Now, patching up in single rooms provided by the chief of Bumaka, he says a misunderstanding should not extend to homeless persons who are struggling to survive.
People should be merciful. These IDPs, they don't even know where some of their parents are. Where will they go?
According to a notice at the door, it was sealed by the governor's office. It is hoped that in the days ahead, a compromise will be arrived at so these IDPs can lay their heads in a home again called theirs.
Bamenda 3 subdivision in Mezam division of the Northwest region have welcomed their new subdivisional officer. The installation ritual July 27, 2022 at the explanade of the Bamenda 3 Council, assuming office at a time people within the Bamenda 3 subdivision are experiencing criminal activities provoked by suspected separatist fighters, commissioning Ayuni Austin Nsaka as the new DO for Bamenda 3 subdivision. The SDO for Mezam, Simo Emil Mo, while affirmed curbing the rising wave of insecurity, call on the new DO, Ayuni Austin Saka, to protect the population and their properties, fight criminals, terrorism, or any form of kidnapping that is very rampant around the Nkwen zone. Bamenda 3 Council Mayor Fongu Kletos made it clear to the incoming subdivisional officer seasoned collaborators and traditional authorities are ready to accompany him accomplish his task.
So I will tell him Bamenda 3 is a good place. The people of Bamenda 3 are welcome. They are
join his effort with theirs, he will make Bamenda 3 a proud municipality. Well, we have always been mobilizing to support occasions like this, as you see. We have always, this is mobilization that we have done to grace the occasion, to see to it that the Joe is well installed, and we have done it. And I think subsequently we will still be doing a great work to boost the image, not only of the party but of the nation.
The new DO for Bamenda 3 count on the population.
There is no secret that we are living in an atmosphere of insecurity. Our work is guided by the laws of this country. We have collaborators of the forces of law and order. We have our hierarchy. We all collaborate with the population to make sure that security comes back to this subdivision. It is a collective effort, and I'm calling on all the living forces to join hands with me to put order in Bamenda 3 subdivision.
Ayuni Austin Saka is a senior administrative officer as DO, born 1975 at Miluf in Kumbo, Bui division of the Northwest region. He takes over from Basilike George Magloire Emmanuel, who moves to the Northwest Governor's Office as Secretary General.
These motorcycles seized from owners when security forces in Bamenda launched an operation earlier this month to take away and impound motorbikes of those circulating in restricted areas was on July 28, 2022 handed to them. The motorbike riders, whose activities had been grounded for several weeks, received their bikes thanks to the intervention of bike riders syndicates who held several meetings with officials.
The NCO with the town, the city mayor with the town, the bishop, and the DO of Bamenda 2. When they stand by, we say no, keep picking them. We don't go leave Bamenda suffer. They hear we cry, and they give the go ahead the president. We will try, but we don't hear a cry, we will try, we will release by them.
Handing over the motorcycles at Upstation Bamenda to those in possession of appropriate documents, the president of Bike Riders Association sounded off a strong message of peace.
We are going to be with them. There will be a peace union. Because peace, na sunshine. Peace, na the beauty of life. We will try, we will fight for peace because violence, you know, help. Violence, not only descendant spiral ending in destruction for all. Violence, it make them, it make brotherhood will be impossible. Violence, it is impractical. Violence, it is thrive on hatred rather than love. So we will try together, we as a crowd of people them, for unite ourselves for 7 peace day. Peace is the beauty of life. We like life, no? Yes. So from today, may we not say all we be now responsible by riders. May any man be try for make something make a peace day. Start from your house, go for your union, they may flourish.
It should be recalled that the seizure of motorbikes in the town of Bamenda resulted to an atmosphere of uncertainty in a town hit hard by the ongoing Anglophone crisis.
The Biasang bus station in the Dombe neighborhood in Kribi has recorded a disturbing scene as this young man is lynched to near death. His crime, sources say, is being an alleged motorbike thief.
Le jour de mardi, dans la journée, il est venu prendre la moto d'un de nos collègues.
On Tuesday, he came and stole a bike from our colleague and went with it. Later on, our colleague realized his bike was missing. We launched a search operation based on the description that was given to us. And that's how we finally caught him. After succeeding with the first, which he had taken to Bipindi, another locality in Kribi, the alleged thief would be met with his fate as his 99th day seems to have expired. It was then that the motorcyclist on search identified and molested him to near death upon interrogation as he forcefully admitted to his crime.
C'est l'arrivée des gars Bamoun de l'autre côté.
It was thanks to the arrival of the Bamouns from the other side, because before now the Bamouns had already begun beating him up, and that's how he told us where the motorcycles are being kept once they are stolen. So we are calling on the authorities to investigate and invade Newton and carry out thorough investigations.
Pour la moto est cachée à Newton.
Meanwhile, moved by empathy, this other guy who wanted to serve as a savior to the molested thief would also come in with a knife, which according to sources was used against them both. Fortunately, at the arrival and mercy of the forces of law and order, calm and serenity was met as the two cases have been apprehended and kept under police custody for further investigations.
Ça,